Alright, we loaded up. We didn't know if we was going to go race this weekend. My leg's still black and blue, but it's still attached to my bone. So we're going to give it a try. We're going to the Hillbilly Sprint Enduro in Alabama. It's a SERA event. So we're fixing to head that way. We made it to Alabama. We're at the Hillbilly Sprint Enduro running the vintage class. And along the way, we picked up a hitchhiker. This is the Steve bike. He's from Massachusetts. We're going to see how he fits in with the South Georgia IT family. SETRA added a vintage class this year, so we wanted to come over and support them. Not many organizations do a vintage class, so it's good that they're offering it. So we came over, and this is the Hillbilly Sprint Enduro. It's different than the hair scramble format. They have two tests, a 5 mile and a 3 mile, and you do each one 4 different times, and your combined time for the day is your basically your score. It's, the fastest winning. So I was on row 34, so most lines had 4 riders, and so every rider would leave in 15-second intervals. There was some rows I think had 5. So at the 34, when it come up on the clock, basically the 4 riders on the 34 row would leave in 15-second intervals, and wasn't a whole lot of. There was some faster people that passed me, and I passed a few people, but for the most part, you kind of do your test and don't really have a lot of people around you. This was test 1. It was a 5 mile loop. You can see it had a little bit of open stuff in the woods, had some really tight pine sections and some more open hardwoods, and then towards the end there was open grass tracks, so it was a good mixture. Some of it had a good flow, some of it was really tight. When I got to the bottom of the hill, I seen that this guy had fell in the main line, so I took an alternative line, and wasn't the best line, but I made it up the hill without stalling. It was steeper than it looked on camera. Got here, and I could hear somebody coming up behind me, so I looked for a place to let them get past, and it was a guy that had wrecked on the hill, so I dropped in behind him and just was gonna try to stay with him. It's a lot easier to go faster whenever you got somebody in front of you kind of inspiring you to catch up to and try to pass. So like I said, most of this race was, you was pretty much on your own, and I think sometimes you can get in a bit of a lull and not be pushing. So it was good to have a target to chase, for lack of a better word. there were some really fast guys over here racing in this, and some of them come flying by and don't realize how they can go so fast. But this guy here, I think he passed me just about at that mud hole every time we done this test. Don't know what class he was in, but he was moving on pretty good. Right here we get into the one of the tight sections. So there was, I don't know, there probably was a fifth of this over here before it was the tight stuff. When we got out in this open bit, grass track, which kind of finished off this loop, I was going to do my best to try to get back past this guy. So I was inspired to try to go faster and get past him. So this was really slick the start of the day, but it was starting to get tacked up, so you could not worry about sliding out from under you on the corners. So I got past him and wanted to try to make sure he didn't get me back. So we wasn't in the same class, but still just gives you a little inspiration to try to pass somebody. And I could see another bike ahead of me, so I figured I might as well try to get him too if I could. We got closer, I realized it was Ronnie Smith. He was the only other person that was racing in the vintage class, and he had a beautiful Mako there, and he rode good all day, and I think he done all 8 of the tests. So good to see a couple of vintage bikes out here trying to represent. If you watched the last video, the GNCC race, where I hurt my leg, that was 2 weeks ago today, and I still wasn't 100%, but I wanted to come over and support SETRA with this event. So we came over, but during the week, my coach, wife, trainer, she insisted that I get some seat time in. So she come up with some unconventional training to practice during the week since I couldn't ride my bike. So here's some of the seat time that I had to do. I think I got the better end of the deal. She got more exercise. This was the test 2, the second loop. It was 3 miles, and for the most part it was a lot tighter. Both of the loops had a lot of off-camber routes, good challenging tracks. Both of them were. This one was probably a little bit more challenging. One thing I've got to try to improve on is my tight stuff. This 250 probably is a little bigger and don't do quite as good in the tighter stuff, but even on the 200 I was lacking speed in the tight stuff, so I've got to work on that some. I could hear somebody coming. I was trying to get out of the way and I almost fell, so I had to go to a second spot to let them come past. I think it was this guy here. After the test, he stopped me, talked to me, and told me it'd been about 1979 since one of these bikes had passed him, so that was kind of interesting. This downhill right here, I was worried every time that this mud hole was going to be really bad at the bottom, but it seemed to have a good solid base to it. But looking at it, it looked like it was just going to swallow you up when you went into it. Later in the day, this hill right here, with all the water coming off the bikes, it got really slick going up the uphill section. I'd like to thank SETRA for adding the vintage class this year. There are going to be 3 more races that I think that they're going to have that will actually have the vintage competition. So any of you out there that's got a vintage bike, I think the stipulations is it's got to be drum brakes and air cooled. Y'all come on and sign up and support them. The more you support them, the more they're going to probably have classes in the future. If people don't come, they're probably not going to keep having them. So y'all come on out, support them, and let's get some of these old bikes back on the track.
One more section. SETRA vintage motorcycles, y'all come on.
Look at these old codgers, they think they're getting their photo taken, but they're being videoed.
How old are you? You got 10 years. I got 10 years on you.
Yeah. Well, hey, I applaud you, man. I know.
You do good, doing good. I'm too old for this, I think. I keep selling myself.
No, you out here having fun. You living.